I decided to do a bit of a review of this instrument. It's a National M1 Tricone. It's a wood-bodied Tricone, which is quite an unusual thing to find. Although the kind of design of it is very faithful, I believe, to the original Tricone designs of the late 20s. The construction of it with the kind of laminated mahogany, I say kind of laminated mahogany, that's exactly what it is. It's a laminated mahogany. Is very much, I think, a product of modern manufacturing methods, CNC machines and the like. So it's a kind of really interesting kind of mixture of sort of classic Art Deco design and modern construction. It also sounds, it's got a voice all of its own. In theory, the sound of a resonator should come mainly from the cones here, of which there were 3 on this, hence Tricone. But the body, although it's primarily there for strength, clearly does have a difference, make a difference to the tone, and it also makes it lighter as well, being a wood-bodied one. The steel or brass ones are pretty heavy. This is heavier than a regular acoustic, but it is not nearly as heavy as a metal-bodied one. There's the back, just have a look at the back, isn't that beautiful? It's not solid-bodied, of course, but as I was saying, it's mainly the cones that produce the sound. So having a solid wood construction is really not necessary or even desirable, really, because they're not as strong. Okay, I'll do a little bit of a kind of bluesy, raikuda-y sort of thing with the bottleneck up here. So yeah, that sort of style of playing I think is more associated really with single cone metal-bodied resonators, and a single cone metal-bodied resonator will certainly give you a bit more of a sort of Delta blues, sort of harsh metallic sound to it. I think the thing about this is it's a very versatile instrument. Sort of playing a sort of similar thing. That's sort of, I think, takes you a little bit more into sort of country Jerry Douglas kind of territory. Although obviously he has a, I think he normally plays more of a sort of square necked dobro with a spider bridge and a single cone. With the wood body just gives it a mellowness that a metal body wouldn't. And of course the Tricone is a mellower sounding instrument than a single cone anyway. I think I can sort of demonstrate that as well if I just give this a bit of a tune. To open G. And let's stick a capo on. I'm going to give you a bit of Romeo and Juliet because that's a very famous piece of music played on a resonator. But it was played on a single cone, 1930s original single cone metal-bodied resonator, style O, I think, I can't remember. So if you have a sort of idea in your head of what Romeo and Juliet sounds like, tuning right. So, etc, etc. I think if you have an idea in your head of what that originally sounded like, that song, you can hear it's quite a bit mellower, quite a bit woodier, despite, as I say, the sound coming from the cones, and a little bit more, I think, like a conventional acoustic. And I think if you take this into a session and just play it like a conventional acoustic, but with a slightly different sound, you know, it's going to give a producer who wants something a little bit different, something. Etc. Yeah. And listen to the sustain on that. You could go another bite, and you'd still be hearing that one, to coin a phrase. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I love this guitar. It's just a beautiful looking thing. Even if you never played it, I'd stick it on the wall, and the house would go up in value as a result. And I think hopefully I've demonstrated that it's also a fantastically kind of versatile instrument, particularly for people that aren't necessarily primarily resonator players and just want to kind of expand into that kind of sound. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Bye bye.